Why INFJs suck at being assertive and disagreeable. Is it fair to say that INFJs suck at this? No, but it is something that they struggle with. And being good at these traits is a barometer for maturity and being well developed as an INFJ. I think there are two reasons why INFJs struggle in this area. They have low SE and high FE. A high SE user will often come across as quite forceful in their communication. They say things as they are and almost find it silly to adopt any other approach. INFJs, on the other hand, will communicate in a more delicate way. Lots of padding, beating around the bush, and adding softeners to what they're saying. Stuff that takes the edge off it and the sting out of it. It's subtle. It's not on the nose and direct in the way that other types would deliver the information. So having difficult conversations for INFJs is, well, difficult. Then there's the fact that they value FE greatly. It's their main way of interacting with people, and it's a huge strength in that regard. It doesn't take much for them to be likable to other people and to figure out what approach would be the most effective depending on the individual in question. So to be disagreeable is kind of at odds with their main strength. They might even feel like they are undoing good work. So if you're an INFJ, you might be thinking, but wait, I can be forceful and make my point aggressively. In fact, I have something of a temper when people push me too far. Being assertive is about setting boundaries and having necessary conversations from a place of relative calmness and control. Boiling over is not being assertive. Often INFJs will give people lots of leeway, then be pushed more and more until they snap. That's an issue with all of the high FE types, but it's even more pronounced with types that have SE inferior, where it seems to explode more. This is a huge point of growth for INFJs, and once they master this, contrary to what they might think initially, it actually makes them much better with people. If a relationship can't tolerate difficult conversations and assertive moments, then is it a relationship at all, let alone one you want to keep around? Being introverts. Okay, let me clarify this one. INFJs are unusual introverts in the sense that they are very well suited to being social. They enjoy people lots of the time. Plus, their functions make them highly able to understand human psychology very well. They are both drawn to people and enjoy their company. To me, this has always seemed like quite the irony. Do they get lots of benefits from introspection and being able to tolerate lots of alone time? Yes, they do. People aren't this major distraction you always have to deal with because you can remove yourself from them fairly easily. But does it make sense for them to be so drained by social interactions? Not really. In many ways, INFJs are a conflicted type, torn between opposing attributes and desires. I think that this, along with other things, might be why people who are actually INFJs are often quite confused as to why other people would want to be that type, avoiding overthinking and being spontaneous. For types who have NI as their dominant function, analysing patterns, looking beneath the surface, reading between the lines, making intuitive leaps, projecting forward, anticipating what's coming next, and planning around that are all constant mental preoccupations and come completely naturally to them. In fact, they can't switch it off. Yet again, with all traits, it's actually our strengths, when overused, that become our weaknesses because of what they suppress. When you add dominant NI to valued TI, then you have a recipe for the constant over-analysis of everything. If you are going out somewhere, let's say to a party, an INFJ will instinctively think, who's going to be there? What do I know about them? What should I wear? What's the vibe going to be? They'll even go as far as to wonder about seemingly inconsequential details, such as where they're going to sit. It can be incessant. Sometimes it's important to just take action and jump into things without spending so much energy on the anticipatory part of the process. If you're an INFJ, then please like and subscribe. Both of those things help the video and the channel overall. If you're going to be disagreeable, now is not the time.